Hey everybody, this is Dominique with Black Girl Reviews, and I'm back with another review for Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 15, Episode 14, Wreck-It Ralph. Okay, so they had a lot of little smaller introductions, Drew showing off the place where she's having her mental health retreat, but we can just go ahead and skip that because nothing really happened. And we're going to go right into the part where Sonya surprises Ross. Sonya surprises Ross with her pregnancy test, and he's so excited. And I'm so happy for them that they achieved their goal of having a baby. And they get dressed into these already pre-made shirts that said "We're pregnant." And they go downstairs, call all their family members upstairs to the living room, and they show off the back of their shirts. The sister and the daddy got it right away, but the mama was like, pregnant, weird, because they was standing backwards. They needed to switch spots, so pretty much mama was like, what's going on? They excited, everybody's screaming like, yay, 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 yay. The mom's like, what's going on? They turned back around and got right into position. She was like, oh my God, yay. And as soon as they, calmed down from the cheering, the sister was like, well, we found a place, we're moving out. You can see on Sonya's face like, oh, for real? Y'all moving out? And so your confessional, he was like, I guess we have to start looking into getting a nanny or something like that. Yeah, you gonna have to do something because we already know you ain't staying home to take care of the kid, and Ross ain't either. So the mom and the dad and the sister and her husband and her kids are moving to the same complex, and then that was the scene, pretty much. All right, we're moving on to Drew and Ralph's date night at the bowling alley. They pretty much talk about, their counseling session and how Ralph feels like he doesn't have to go to every single counseling session because, when are you going to have the time to use the tools if you're going to every counseling session? They tell you what to do on this counseling session, and then by the time I get to the next counseling session, they give me another tool to do something else, and I'm like, I don't have time to really do all of the tools that they gave me because I'm going to every counseling session. But right now, I'm really doing the work because I stopped going to the counseling session. Me and Drew had the same face, like, please. N-word, please. I don't believe it. We have less blow-ups. We have less blow-ups. I don't believe it. And I don't think Drew believes it either. And then pretty much Drew brings up the fact that, she is excited for all of the things she got going on right now. And, she has this movie deal with Todd and Candy, and the fact that film is going to take about 10 weeks. And she's going to need help in those 10 weeks with Ralph, stepping up as a father and taking care of the kids. Ralph says he doesn't know about all that because he is busy too, and he's been busy. She's just now getting busy. He travels a lot for work. What do you do for work? You say you in tech, tech doesn't have 100 different versions of tech. You can be in tech and do what? You can do account management in tech. You can do project management in tech. You can do cybersecurity. What do you do? What do you do? So that you got busy that you gotta travel. What do you do, Ralph? So pretty much, their little date night didn't really end that well because nothing Ralph and Drew does end that well. You know what I mean? It's just they're just not on the same page, honestly. It's ridiculous, and honestly, it is tiring to watch. In the next scene, we have Candy, Kenya, and what's her name? Shamia. That's her name. They all meet up at Kenya's house. Apparently, it was Shamia's first time at Kenya's house, and I was surprised. Y'all gonna okay? I don't even know why they hanging out, but why not? And Kenya cooks for them, and they all sit around the table and talk about what's been going on. Kenya tells them that she's thinking about having another baby. And if both of them just looking surprised, like, with who? Who's the baby? Who's gonna be the baby daddy? And she was like, well, I still have embryos with Mark. And they was like, huh? They probably thinking the same man you still having issues with trying to get a divorce from, and you want to get deeper into a situation with him. And they was like, well, are you gonna tell him you was planning on using the embryos? And she was like, well, I feel like I have to tell him. But apparently there's a contract that was signed before doing the embryos, and she gets ownership of the embryos if they ever divorce or break up. Then they move on to Sheree'S birthday party. It got back to Kenya that Martell asked the guests at Sheree'S birthday party to cash out him the money to pay for the bill at Nobu. And she said that she got this information from Sanya and Marlo. And everybody was just like, Candy was like, well, why was I not invited? Girl, because you're not a part of their alliance. They want to keep saying that, oh, we don't have an alliance. We're not divided. We just want everybody to get along. But yeah, y'all do things like have separate birthdays. You have your birthday party and not invite the whole cast. But it might be good that they didn't invite the whole cast, because that would have been embarrassing. I wonder if Martell would have said that out loud in front of everybody if he was on camera asking them to pay for their food. Like, it's one thing to be like, let them know in advance, because apparently this was last minute. Maybe I should get to it later, but apparently it was a last minute invite where she invited people like the day of or the day before her birthday to ask them to go out to dinner. So if she would have just let them know ahead of time, like, hey, I'm inviting y'all to come out to dinner with me. You know, whatever you get is on you. You don't really want to eat like that. You just want to come to support me. That is the next scene, we got Sheree washing her dog. She calls Martell. Guess what? You hit Martell. I wash my dog. And scene. That was it. The next scene, we have Drew and Candy having a table read for the past. That's the name of Todd's movie. And they pretty much talked about how they just gonna get over the fact that, about the kids, they gonna move forward and just move on, child. They had a table reading with Monietta. I think Shamia's there. And it seemed like a good table reading. Boom. Next scene, we have Drew's wellness, mental health retreat, even though I don't know how it's a retreat when it's just a one-day event. But why not? It came out beautiful. I ain't gonna lie. It looked like she put some money behind it. I don't know if it was her and her sister putting their money together to make this happen, because I just can't see Drew by herself making something this pretty happen. But it was pretty with the white, and they changed out the dark table to a white table with gold chairs. It was pretty. So first thing they do, they all standing around waiting for everybody to show up. Alright, so when I first watched this, I thought that Ralph was just being petty, and which he was. But this is how I seen it, because the way that Drew is trying to explain it is that Ralph just ignored her and just started hugging everybody in the party and just tried not to say hello to her. Okay, so Ralph is petty, we know. So when Drew turns around and she sees Ralph and Ross walk through the door, I really think Ralph and Drew are at the moment is having marital issues. So, but he still showed up to the event to show face, pretty much. So, in a petty Drew form, she says, hey! Ralph kind of opens up his arms to give her a hug, and she goes straight to Ross to give him a hug. So Ralph naturally felt played, in my opinion, and he kept on walking, so it won't be so obvious that his arm was just left out for a hug and Drew didn't give him a hug. So when Drew finished giving Ross a hug, Ralph was already walking past him, and she turns around like, hey Ralph, hey baby, and he didn't say nothing. He started giving everybody else a hug around the party. giving everybody else a hug, giving everybody else a hug. And then she finally walks up to him like, hey, hubby. And he turns around like, hey, babe, and gives her a kiss. So in Drew, I'm a victim form, it does look like Ralph is literally ignoring her and going around the whole room to say hello to everybody. But if you pay attention, Drew turns around to look at both of them and says, hey, with her arms open wide. Ralph opens his arms to give her a hug, and she goes straight to Ross to give him a hug. So I don't believe in tit for tat, but Drew ain't innocent. But anyways, moving on. Everybody shows up, and then they go outside to do Drop It with Drew. In a confessional, in Drew's confessional, she said, oh yeah, we're still doing Drop It with Drew. We're still doing our 60-day challenge and yada, yada, yada. We're still doing it. We still got it going. Marlo looks, search Drop It with Drew, and the website doesn't even work. So that's another embellishment on Drew's behalf. So then they do Drop It with Drew. Everything's good. Everybody's happy. Then they go into the meditation room upstairs, and they tell everybody they need to take off their shoes to walk into the meditation room. Here go Marlo. With her horrible cough. Marlo said she couldn't relax in the meditation room because it stank. She's like, I don't know if it was stinking beforehand, or if it stank because of people's feet, or it stank because after dropping with Drew, you didn't have no deodorant on. But it seemed like she was the only one that was bothered because everybody else seems relaxed. Even Candy started tearing up, and she was like, I need some tissues. I needed that moment to relax. I needed that time. But I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I ain't gonna lie, because I'm adding a little spice to this video because the video's almost over. I don't like smells. So I'm with Marlo. If we would have went in that room and everybody took off their shoes, everybody took off their shoes, and I'm smelling feet and funk, I wouldn't be able to relax either. I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't be able to I wouldn't want to breathe in hard. No, I wouldn't want to do none of that. So anyways, after that, they go downstairs to eat in the dining room area, and then they get into Drew's court case. They asked Drew, how is your court going? I heard, about it. Is it resolved? She's like, well, I found out in 30 days. Cynthia asks, like, well, I don't know nothing about this. What's going on? So she breaks it down, like, oh, it's a chef that had hair in the food, and she didn't work out as a chef, so she was going to be a nanny, but she didn't work out as a nanny, and then all of a sudden she was suing us for $1,000 when we didn't hire her, and then now it came from $1,000 to $10,000. Everybody like, huh? Where did $10,000 come from? It was just $1,000 the other day. Then, of course, in petty Bravo form, they pull up the court documents, and it still just says $1,000. So another embellishment on Drew's behalf in one setting. Then they get into Sheree'S birthday party. Sheree was like, yes, darling, I invited my friends from over 30 years to hang out with me at my birthday party. And it was an event, it was a extravaganza. So, pretty much, Candy was like, well, why was I not invited? Candy was like, Sheree was like, well, you always too busy. You haven't been coming around the group lately, which is a lie. I think Candy missed one event and then left early on your trip, and now all of a sudden she doesn't come to none of the events with the girls. That's BS. And then so I think they pretty much just moved on from that, honestly. But Candy feels like she was left off the invite on purpose, pretty much. Then Monietta, they talk about how the group is divided, and there are different sides, different alliances, and it's a different collusion. I think that's the word that Monietta used. And then Monietta brought up the fact that Courtney called her cousin-in-law Drew a B word, pretty much a B word, and Courtney, of course, denies it right off the bat. Like, what? I would never call you the B word. I would never call you the B word. I would murder! And then, of course, production rolls it back. And she's telling the story, talking about Drew, and she was like, and that bitch, la 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 la, and then it repeated it, and that bitch, la 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 la. Like, so she's denied it, but she definitely called her a B word. And they all get up from the table, and Courtney's still trying to defend herself. And she calls Monietta a B word while trying to defend herself. And she was like, see? So they all go outside to take a group photo before they all leave because the retreat is over. So they all take a picture outside. Sanya gets in the front and she flashes her shirt. Another pre-made shirt that says, I'm pregnant. Flashes it. She just knew it was going to be a moment. She just knew it. She just knew it was going to be a moment because she didn't show her shirt the whole time. So she zips it back up and it was on her phone. So she airdrops everybody. Everybody's like, everybody look at the photo. Look at the photo. Look at the photo. Let me know how you feel about the photo. The photo. The photo. And everybody was like, oh yeah, so-and-so eyes closed. Oh yeah, and I look all right. All right, moving on. All right, can we leave now? And then she was like, Sonya was like, wait, hold on. Zoom in right here. So they zoom in on Sonya and they were like, oh, you're pregnant. Even though Sonya could have just been like, hey, everybody, look. And just flashed them her shirt. And then they would just be like, oh. Like, you didn't have to do like a flash mob. Like, people just go zoom in on you. Sonya is hilarious, girl. You're so funny. You really think you're somebody on the show, but you're not. They really was about to just move on and forget about it. So they huddle around her, congratulate her, and moving on. And last scene is Drew and Dr. Ken. She has another session, and she is talking to Dr. Ken about her marriage and how, you know, she's doing the work and actually going to counseling, but she can't force Ralph to go to counseling with her. You know, her marriage is missing a lot of stuff like transparency, respect, and faithfulness. So are you admitting that either you and him or just you haven't been faithful in a relationship? Okay, so yeah, so she's saying now after being in her counseling class, she is no longer asleep, she is woke, and she's no longer letting him gaslight her. And, you know, she tells him that, you know, Ralph moved out of their marital bed and he is sleeping in another bed. So their marriage is very, 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 very rocky right now. And that was the end of the episode, you guys. Yeah, I don't even have long to think about this. I'm gonna just give this episode a D. It was lackluster. I would give it a C, but there really wasn't much going on. It was like 2-3 scenes and little filler scenes, and then the retreat. And the retreat wasn't retreating. It wasn't much. It was very lackluster, honestly. And the moments that they thought was gonna be a moment with Sonya. Maybe Sonya should have waited to announce her pregnancy until after this episode, even though we already knew she was pregnant. So, yeah. I'm glad this show is coming to an end. You know, I kind of stopped doing the reviews for New York because it really wasn't getting a lot of views. Y'all are still watching Real Housewives of Atlanta, which, you know, that's the reason why I'm keep pushing this content out. But once Atlanta goes off, I think I'm gonna do I'm definitely gonna do Potomac. I'm definitely gonna do Married to Medicine for sure. Okay, so Potomac, Married to Medicine, and then I'm gonna keep pushing out The Streets Are Talking because y'all love The Streets Are Talking. I just gotta find different topics that is very interesting to, you know, review and talk about. I don't want to just talk about any old celebrity gossip, because y'all don't like just multiple topics of celebrity gossip. Y'all like, you know, certain topics. So I'm gonna work on that. And keep giving y'all Real Housewives of Atlanta content. Right before the reunion, I'm probably gonna do a review on the dresses for the reunion. Talk about, rate them pretty much from the ugliest to the cutest, pretty much before the reunion starts. Maybe either I'm a little busy this week, so maybe next week I'll do the review for the reunion dresses. And I think we got like maybe 2 more episodes left for the season, so that's perfect. And then we have the reunion. So, all right, you guys. Thank you so much for getting to the end of my video. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share my video with your friends, family, coworkers, your homegirl, your homeboy, anybody that loves Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let me know down below if it's a show that y'all watch, because it has to be a show that y'all watch. Y'all wasn't watching Bell Collective on reviews. And I honestly stopped watching Bell Collective, not because of y'all not watching my reviews, but because it's just not my show. Like, it's just like, it's getting stale. It was getting real stale. And like I told you, I'm quick to end a show if I'm not feeling it. Right now, I'm watching Big Brother and The Challenge. So, I can do quick reviews on Big Brother and The Challenge if y'all want it. Let me know. I don't mind. Especially about the challenge. I can do a quick little 1-2 step on the challenge. I don't really need to get into real deep details of the challenge. All right, guys. Let me go ahead and end this video. I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.